I know this probably comes off as a negative and clickbaity title, but I really want people to know this because I really wish I knew this. And by saying like, oh, this is a problem with Bali, I am not trying to shit on Bali, because this problem is not representative of what Bali is, who the Balinese people are. These are a few bad apples, and they do not make the bunch bad. And I do not mean to sound like a cop supporter right now. So we're literally riding on the scooter, right, on our way home, and then this guy starts talking to us on his scooter, and he's like, follow me, come with me to my plantation. And I'm like, all right. And now we're here.
In Bali? Yeah. What's the name? Ethan.
He's very nice, and he's showing us around his plantation now, just because he saw us. Wow. Am I doing good?
One head, yeah. Strong.
And then roast in the oven.
Kuat, yeah, kuat. Saya kuat katanya.
Riding on the scooter, and this guy's like, where are you from? I'm like, America. Americana, baby. And he's like, oh, come with me. Come to my plantation. I'm like, maybe tomorrow's after that coffee. I'm like, maybe tomorrow. Point is, we got roped into it, and now we're here. They gave us an umbrella because it's raining. It's so cute. It's so pretty. He's sniffing my bag.
Hello, girl. Come on.
It's coming down super hard, and it's been lightninging too. I'm feeling really conflicted today because it's like I kept telling that guy that we didn't want to go to the coffee plantation, right? And we had a good time and it was fun and the stuff tasted really good. But then the stuff in the gift shop was not the same tea that they gave us. Like, it was all a scam. It was so fucking overpriced. And, you know, they keep those animals in the tiny cages, and they keep that owl chained to the tree. You know, I just think it's sad, and I don't think it's right. I don't agree with it. And it's just, you know, it's like tourists like me that's like the problem. Because it's like, even if you only do it once, that's all they need, is they only need everyone to do it once. And so I can sit here and tell myself, oh, I'm only going to do it once, and that's okay. But it's like, but if everyone does it once, then it's not okay, you know? And, like, I don't know. I think I'm going to stop eating the luwak coffee, and I think I'm going to not go to the Bali Zoo either. Like, I was thinking about going to the Bali Zoo. I haven't been to a zoo since, I don't know, I stopped going to zoos when I went vegetarian and vegan as a teenager, and I hadn't been since I was a kid, you know? So I haven't been to a zoo since I was a kid. So I thought maybe it'd be cool to go to the Bali Zoo just to see animals that I wouldn't be able to see in other parts of the world. And I'm still contemplating it, but it's just like, I'm so sad because it's so hard sometimes in tourism to do the right thing when you don't know. Like, that guy, I was telling him, no, I want to go home, you know. And he, you know, ropes me into going. And then I go, and then I get roped into buying stuff. And I was asking them there, I'm like, are the animals happy? Like, do you treat them nice? Like, do they get medicine? You know, like, and they're telling me, like, they're hype in the moment when you're there, you know, like, it doesn't feel that bad. And then you get done with it and you get out of them, like, pressuring you and stuff. And then you start thinking about it and you're like, what was that? You know? So I would not recommend going to, also, like, he said it was like a plantation. I thought it was gonna be like a farm. It's just like a few trees, and it's a fake, it's a scam, you know. And it's just like, it was a fun experience, like, in the moment, but after I'm like, what the fuck did I just do, you know? So don't be like me and try to trust your gut a little more and listen to yourself. But I don't know, I'm just so spontaneous and like go with the flow, and I'm like, oh, I should do this. And also, they were really mean about hating Muslims there. And I don't know if that's a thing in Bali, since it's like mostly Hindu here and mostly Muslim in the rest of Indonesia. But they were really rude about Muslims there. And I didn't ask about Muslims. I didn't even ask. And they were really hating on them. Like, I asked her, I was like, oh, how do you, like, one of the workers there, I was trying to make conversation, oh, how do you like living in Bali? And she's like, it's good, because there's no Muslims. I was like, what? What? Like, and then another guy too got mad at me for saying terima kasih instead of gosh, I always forget the Balinese word, and that's why I go with terima kasih, is because it's easier for me to remember. And people, usually everyone that I've said that to so far here has been really nice. They laugh and they smile and they say sama sama and they bow to me and they enjoy it, and they like tell me that my Indonesian is sounding good. suksma, and is Balinese for thank you. And so, anyways, they like wouldn't. They like were really rude to me about saying terima kasih. They were like, no, you need to say suksma. We're not Muslim. It's different. Like they were really snappy to me about it, and you could just tell like I don't know. It's just like it sucks, you know, when you do something wrong, and you just don't mean to, like, because it's like it's not like I mean to support things like that and stuff, but when you get roped in, it's hard. But just be stronger than me, be better than me. That's my point of me making this video, is being a bad example for you not to follow. Oh, and I lost track on one of my points, so just to come back to it, the coffee's not even from Bali. Like, they do not grow it there. That's what I was trying to imply by being like, we thought it was a plantation, and then there's like no trees. And I don't know, it's just like I fucked up. Don't fuck up like me. That's my point. You know, I knew that the coffee was probably like a scam and wasn't really pooped out by them and stuff, because it's so hard to collect, and in other parts of the world it's way more expensive than it is here, you know, so I knew it was like fake, but I didn't think about how like wrong it was, and I just feel so stupid, and I feel really bad and guilty. And tomorrow I'm just gonna go to temples and pray all day, and then maybe I'll feel better and the gods will forgive me and it will be okay. But I just feel so bad. I left bad reviews. I did everything I could, and I won't do it anymore, and I won't go to the zoo, and I won't eat the luwak coffee, and I won't go to coffee plantations, and I won't support animal cruelty anymore. This is my first time. I mean, like, every product I get is like Leaping Bunny certified, you know, everything is vegan, everything is cruelty free, you know, as much as I can possibly get it. Like, I really, really try. And so this is my first big fuck up in years. Like, I haven't felt this way since when I was a vegetarian or vegan and accidentally ate calamari because I didn't realize what it was because I was a teenager. I just have that same feeling, or like when I ate something with gelatin in it and didn't know that it had gelatin in it, you know, I just have that feeling after like, oh my god, how could I be so stupid? But I didn't mean to, and if I knew, I wouldn't have done it. But how could I be so stupid? I should have known, you know, like I just have that feeling, and it feels terrible. But tomorrow I'm just gonna have a full worship day, and maybe it will counteract it, even out. Oh, I just hope some good can come out of this, and I'm not trying to be a whiny crybaby. I'm sorry that came off so whiny and cry. I had to stop it for a second, but I just hope if anything good comes out of this is that I can tell people right now, hopefully someone will see this who might have gone to a coffee plantation in Bali, and they'll go, okay, they're a scam, you know, because I looked it up, and it seems like basically every coffee plantation, you can find some good ones, but they're like diamonds in the rough. So like basically what will happen is someone will come up to you on the side of the road, like what happened to us, or somebody will get your taxi driver to do this to you. Taxi drivers will apparently do this to you too, because they get a commission from it, apparently. Just learned the word apparently. And apparently, yeah, the taxi driver will, like, you know, you'll keep saying no, and the taxi driver will be like, no, come, just like what happened to us. And then they get a commission off of you going to the coffee place and hopefully buying the stuff from the gift shop, which is fake and not even Balinese, and not even the stuff that you taste, and it's just mostly sugar. If you're in a taxi in Bali and your taxi driver or somebody on the side of the road is coming up to you and saying, come to me to this coffee plantation, just drive away, because they're not even going to take your no for an answer. If you're in a taxi, just say Tira! Until they leave you alone, or just start ignoring them or something. Or if your taxi driver forces you to go, if they like drop you off there, just be like, nope, I ran out of money. I don't have any money. Oops, my bank's not working. Like, you know, just don't give them your money, because it freaking sucks. So we just got back from the temple, Pura Besaki, and it was terrible. Like, I'm sorry, it was beautiful. I shouldn't say it was terrible, but let me finish. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It's over 1,000 years old. It's, you know, considered very sacred, but we left very early because we couldn't stand it. It was all about money.
Yeah, from the moment that we got there, it was just not a good experience. We pulled, the Google Maps took us just a little bit down the road from the actual temple, and when we pulled up, we were immediately like I can't exaggerate. We were flocked.
Actually, Google Maps was taking us to the temple, but we couldn't even get there because this lady starts going. It just starts
and there was
yelling
like
at
a
us,
road
and we're
blockage.
surrounded by like 9 women, and so we pull over because we're like, okay, these are locals, they know better than me, which is what I'm learning is it's not a good mindset to have in Bali. Like, it is usually a good mindset when you're traveling, and it still is a good mindset to keep in the back of your head is, oh, this is a local, they might know better than me. I think it's an important thing to think, but it's also important to listen to your heart. Listen when something feels wrong to yourself. Listen to your conscience. Listen to the voice in your head, because if your heart is telling you no, and a local is telling you buy this or something, you're not racist, you're not disrespectful, you're not mean for saying, no, I don't want to buy your thing.
Yeah, the moment that we got there, we were just completely like ganged up pretty much by this group of women, and they were like they were saying, oh, you need another belt, you need 2 belts, you need 2 other belts.
And so
me, yeah,
and I was not wearing this, mind you. I was wearing the traditional outfit. I was wearing my traditional skirt, my traditional belt, and my traditional like the lacy shirt, and I had my hair back and everything for modesty reasons. We were perfectly dressed. He had on his headdress, his traditional shirt, his 2 skirts, and his belt. And they still were trying to convince us, no, you need this. They were lying because we kept saying, no, we're good. We're dressed the way we want to dress. Like, we're good. She would be like, oh, he needs a belt. I would say, he has a belt. And she said, he needs 2. I'm like, no, he doesn't.
And they kept insisting that there was some kind of special ceremony that we needed to wear these belts for. And like said, we were dressed beyond appropriately, especially for tourists who were going there.
Yeah, I will put in a picture right now of how we were dressed.
They kind of like pinned me down and like almost separated us a little bit, and they kept wrapping these belts around me, and they kept saying, and now you pay? And you pay now?
Yeah, they were literally physically putting these scarves and these belts and these sarongs on us, and like then demanding money out of us. And we kept saying no. And I started getting frustrated, and so I started being what to me seemed like disrespectful. But in the moment, I mean, in hindsight, I honestly feel like it was deserved. I was saying, we are here for God. We are here to pray, not to spend money. And then she goes, oh, you want to buy offerings? I kid you not. She tries to sell me offerings, and I'm like, we have them. And she keeps trying to sell me offerings and incense. And so I keep saying, saya punyak, which I'm pretty sure is I have. I kept saying, saya punya. And that's Bahasa. It's not Balinese. I don't know how to say I have in Balinese. But like, still, I knew she was understanding what I was saying, but she was pretending she wasn't understanding what I was saying. So we just keep walking, mind you. This whole time as they're like putting these scarves on us and belts and whatever, we're walking and they're following us. Now we're like, what would you say, like 100 meters or more from our scooter, probably more like 300 meters from our scooter. We're almost half a kilometer closer to the temple, and I'm realizing, crap, the temple isn't even near here. And I was also saying stuff because at first I believed them. Like, I'd done a bunch of research into the dress and the meanings behind the dress and the history behind the dress, but I believed them because they lied about the special ceremony. So part of me was like, I'll just go home then. And I told them that. I was like, I'll just go home. And they were about to let me drive 2 hours back home because I want to buy their crap.
Yeah, exactly. And money is only relative here, but they were trying to get us to pay 400,000 rupiah for 2 belts, and that is so out of proportion. Like if that were to be a fair price, then that'd be fine. But for reference, one of my sarongs costed, I think, was like 70,000 rupiah, and it had a beautiful design, and it matched perfectly with whatever garb I was wearing.
Everything was right, and they were just trying to convince us that we were wrong and we needed to spend money. And then eventually, finally, the way I got them to leave me alone is I bought a lighter for 7 USD. Because I didn't have any smaller bills, and I just wanted them out of my face because that is disgusting.
They were following us.
It was pathetic. It was literally like such gross energy to just be followed by like 7 women and them all just like being like, pay me, pay me, pay me. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. So then we get into the temple and I'm thinking, well, this will be better. Like, this is sacred space. This is, you know, where we're gonna go pray. There's people praying here. It's gonna be quiet. Everyone's gonna be respectful. We pay the entry fee and we pay for a tour guide because I'm thinking I'm here to learn. I'm here for experience. I'm here to learn from you, you know? I don't know how to even give these offerings the correct way. I don't know how to pray the correct way. I'm like, I think it's like this because I've seen videos of people like this. So like, but I need help, you know? So we get a tour guide and our tour guide just ignores us the whole time and walks 20 feet ahead of us and is just walking through everything, not saying anything to us.
He did not answer our questions either.
So yeah, I started asking questions, trying to make my own conversation. And I'm just like, oh, so what's your name? What's this thing? What do we do here? What does this mean? Are those people doing that? You know, I start trying to ask questions and he either will completely ignore me or just answer a question that I didn't ask. Of course, there could be the translation thing, but he spoke fine English. He was being bad at his job on purpose, so I would ask less questions, and that's exactly what it did. And then he kept trying to also get money out of us. More money all the time, everyone we ran into, and there's a bunch of vendors inside the temple grounds also constantly coming up to you. It doesn't matter if you're trying to pray. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. These vendors come up to you and they try to force you into giving them money. Our own tour guide was trying to trick us into giving money for the gods that he was obviously just gonna take when we walked away. And so I told him, you know, gods don't need money. Like, no, God doesn't need money to answer my prayers. Trust me, I learned that as a Lutheran. That's why they don't like the Catholics, you know? I didn't actually say that, but what I did actually say verbatim was, God doesn't need money. And he says back to me, well, it's to keep the temple clean. So I'm like, okay, so you guys do take the money, admittedly. And I said, well, I already paid the temple, my fee. So we left before, only seeing one temple, like one shrine, and it was for Brahma. I did learn how to like take the flower petals and put them in the fingers and like what flower colors are for what gods and stuff. So there was a little bit of learning there, but I'm pretty sure I could have found that out on like Google.
We could have found out everything that he told us on Google. Absolutely. One of the whole purposes of going to a temple like that and going to getting a tour is so that you can learn things that you cannot Google. And we could have easily learned all of it. Also, what the few minutes of peace that we got was when we were actually praying in front of the shrine, but he kept interrupting us. And he said we could only have 2 minutes to pray, even though there was nobody else waiting for us.
No lie, nobody even in the whole area, like the whole area we were in, there was not a single person to be seen or heard.
And I was in the middle. Out of just sincerity, I genuinely wanted to like spread some positivity and some peace, you know, in the form of prayer to the temple itself and to like the people that worked there and were taking care of it. And he interrupted me in the middle of me trying to pray for the space that I was in.
Maybe.
Yeah, like
so
maybe.
It wasn't even true that we got 2 minutes to pray. We got about 10 seconds before he was like walking up. And like another thing is like the workers there did not seem to respect like temple etiquette at all, which obviously I did a lot of research into because I'm not about to be rude in a sacred place. So I know things like, you know, that you shouldn't be on your phone, talking on a phone call. That's also just common sense. I didn't even read that online. That one's common sense. But there were just literally workers there having these loud conversations in Balinese.
Like on speaker.
While
like people are praying. People
were
praying in front of them.
Literally right in front of them. And I just felt so bad for the people. And then our tour guide, like another rule, I don't know how enforced this is, I don't know how serious this is, but I respect it. I'm always going to respect it. I hear you're not supposed to point your feet at shrines, you know, so I didn't point my feet at shrines, but our tour guide was constantly like feet directly at the shrines, and I'm like trying to like stand duck-footed, and there's shrines like everywhere, so I'm trying to like just get my feet perfectly in between different stuff, you know, because I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to point my toes at and what I'm not allowed. And it made it a lot easier when I was praying because the women, you kneel when you pray. This does not represent Bali. Like, it is a piece of Bali, and I think it's important, and that's why I'm making this video, because I wish someone would have told me this. But for example, Mr. Cody, who takes care of our house and honestly takes care of us, he is not like this at all. Today we were feeling so much appreciation for him. He brought back our laundry from the laundromat with the receipt and everything, and we handed him 200,000, but we rolled it up like it was 100,000 because that's what we usually give him is 100,000. But today we were feeling extra appreciative, but we know he hates taking our money, so we were like, oh, keep the change. And he, what did he say?
Basically asked, like, why do you tip me so much? Like, he genuinely didn't know why we, like, tip him so often. And so I kind of pretty much said, we appreciate you so much, and we're Americans. So one of the only ways that we really understand how to show you that is through giving you as much money as we can. But but he was the perfect foil for the entire day because he genuinely is much more motivated by positive karma and distributing good experiences to the people around him. He does not care about money. He usually insists on not receiving our tips.
Yeah, usually we try to tip him and he says, maybe next time. And we say, you say that every time. Take our money. Like, we love you. Like, we appreciate you so much. You do so much for us. And that is a true Balinese Hindu, you know, a true Balinese person. They don't even have to be Hindu, but it really comes with the territory with Hinduism of like having to repeat life because you're too attached to monetary things, you know, and physical things. But he is a true representation of the people here, and most people here that we have experienced, they're not quite as good as Mr. Cody because he's our favorite, but they are with the same mindset as Mr. Cody of like, I want you to have a good time. I don't care about your money. And of course, people need money to live, but most of these people have a salary, you know?
If you have a sincere heart and you actually want to learn about the culture, or if you want to even pray, if you want to be a part of the religion here, do not go there. Like, we're not being Karens. This was genuinely one of the worst experiences that we've had.
I would say the worst. Like, maybe the monkey forest, which is also in the same video, but like this set of things is like a problem, and it's, you just need to know as an American, or even just a foreigner in general, but you know, I'm American.
Yeah. So. Oh, not the monkey forest, the luwak plantation.
Oh, right. The monkey forest is great. Go to the monkey forest.
Monkey forest is awesome. Ubud monkey forest.
Yeah, you do have to spend money there, but you're not going to be hassled the whole time around.
You will love it the whole time. You'll love it.
It was so worth the money.
Some of the most solid advice that I personally could have at this point, within the 8 days or 9 days that we've been in Bali, do not go to Pura Besaki temple. It is not worth it. It is supposedly the mother temple, but your experience will not, it just won't be good. You will not have a good experience, and that's a guarantee, which is unfortunate, and I don't enjoy saying it.
I mean, if you think we're lying, just go to TripAdvisor, like, because that's what I did, because I always feel that's my problem. Like, the problem with Bali interacts with the problem with me in a really interesting way, because I always doubt myself. I doubt my intuition, and I doubt how kind I'm being. Like, I will try to be operating from the kindness and respect in my heart, but I still doubt myself in moments like those. I'm like, well, what if I was just a dick? What if I just don't understand? That's how my brain operates, is always second guessing myself and going, well, what if I was in the wrong? So when we got home, I looked on TripAdvisor, and everyone is like, it's like they have their whole routine down pat. Everyone on TripAdvisor was like, we immediately were surrounded by all these ladies forcing sarongs on us, forcing scarves on us, demanding payment. I could only get them away by paying them because they chased me. And then the next step is like, then we were scammed into paying an entry fee and for a tour. Then our tour guide completely ignored us the whole time. Then our tour guide demanded money for God from us. Then we gave the money, and they said that God wasn't going to listen to us because it wasn't enough money. And then we finally gave more money, and then we watched some other guy come and get the money right after, you know? And then, you know, it just, there was all these people, all these street vendors, like, constantly begging for money.
It was predatory, the way that those people followed us, the way that our tour guide lied to us and literally said that the gods would not hear us unless we left a donation.
And it's like, not my God, maybe your gods, I don't know about your gods, and like, I understand I'm here to worship your gods and be respectful, but like, the God I know in my heart, it does not judge me. The God I know in my heart does not want money from me. The God I know in my heart wanted me out of that temple, so I left. So this just really goes back into the luwak plantation. If something doesn't feel right, and if people are rude to you for not giving them money, those are not nice people, because nice people do not want your money. Like, I'm just so thankful for Mr. Cody, because he's really shown me what it's really like to be a true Hindu who really believes in karma and who really believes in not needing money and putting people first. And I really find his attitude really beautiful, and he's really helped me see that these people who do these things to tourists are not representative of the Balinese people. And they are, you know, people are people wherever you go. There's con artists wherever you go, and these people are con artists. They are not, you know, your true day-to-day Balinese person. They believe that since you are, or we are foreign, then you deserve to be treated too badly, lied to, you're stupid, you know. And don't let people treat you that way just because they're foreign too. It's like, kind of as Americans, you have this mindset of like, I can't be rude to a foreigner, or I'm xenophobic. And you don't have to be rude. Like, saying no isn't necessarily rude. Walking away isn't rude. If you get anything from this video, it's please listen to your heart. When your heart is telling you something, listen to it instead of listening to that white guilt part of your brain. Listen to your intuition over white guilt. White guilt is important, and it is an important tool to help you in ego checks and stuff. And it's always important to listen to that little part of your brain too. This is, what if I'm wrong? Both parts are your intuition. What if they're wrong and what if I'm wrong are both very important questions to ask yourself. But you should be able to weigh out the answer in your heart and figure out, I think I'm right, I think they're wrong, and move on.
Precisely. And another thing, if you get flocked by a bunch of people trying to sell you things, just stay strong and just get out of there. But yeah.
Anyway, I hope you do come to Bali, and I hope you have a great time, and I just hope you avoid the people who are trying to sell you things. Yesterday they were playing Billie Eilish and the Beach Boys, and now they're playing this. We just got home, and there were 3 offerings with burning incense outside our front door, and then there's these 2 and these 2, and I wonder if there's a fresh one in the other offering area. Our housekeeper Cody is literally the sweetest human, and he's sick yesterday and today, so I feel so bad. We've been trying not to ask for stuff, but today we were out of water, and the water's not potable here, and you need water, so had to ask for water. Yeah, there's another one. Oh, he must have brought these when he brought the water. Anyway, today was a pretty good day overall, and I don't want to end this video with me bawling my eyes out. So I'll end this video with a thank you to Mr. Cody, and a thank you to Indonesia in general for the beautiful sunsets and sunrises I've got to experience so far since being here. I wish it showed up on camera the way it looks in real life though. It looks kind of peachy on the camera, but in real life right now it's like hot pink.